Nearly 3 weeks after leaving a Power 5 program, one transfer has decided to drop down a couple of rungs on the college football ladder in continuing his playing career. On Twitter, believe it or not, Matthew Burrell revealed that he has committed to playing football at Sam Houston State. As the Bearcats play at the FCS level, Burrell will not have to sit out the 2018 as he would if he had made a move to another FBS program. Counting this, the redshirt junior offensive lineman has 2 years of eligibility remaining. Not sitting out. Committed playing football next year at Sam Houston State. Cold sweat smile, Matthew Burrell Jr. at Burrell_69 May 8, 2018. Burrell had announced April 19 that he would be transferring from Ohio State. A 4-star member of the Buckeyes' 2015 recruiting class, Burrell was rated as the number 7 guard in the country and the number 4 player at any position in the state of Virginia. The past twos, the lineman had seen action in a total of 25 games, including 12 this past. Don't hold your breath for a renewal of the Pitt-Penn State rivalry anytime soon beyond its current agreement. As it stands now, the Panthers and Nittany Lions are scheduled to play this and next. After that, the in-state rivalry will again go dark. Late last month, Pitt athletic director Heather Lichthold stated publicly that she had proposed a 4-year home-and-home series beginning in 2026 to her Penn State counterpart, Sandy Barber, but that athletic department had not yet responded to the offer. Speaking Tuesday, Barber indicated that a renewal likely isn't the cards for at least a dozen years. From the Center Daily Times, an extension of the storied series might be revisited at some point after 2030, Nittany Lions athletic director Sandy Barber said Tuesday at Penn State's first coaches caravan stop. But in the short term, relatively speaking, another renewal isn't in the cards. We've had conversations, Barber said at the New Yorker hotel. I think at this point we've both agreed that based on Big Ten and ACC scheduling principles, and it's a complicating puzzle nowadays, that we're probably not going to do anything at this point. Th2 football programs have met 98 times previously, including every from 1935 through 1992. A 4-year renewal from 1997 to 2000 gave way to a decade-and-a-half sabbatical that ended with the current 4-game series kicking off in 2016. This year's game will be played September 8 at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. In 2019, the last game of the current contract will be played September 14 in State College. Add Texas Tech to the growing list of FBS teams that have experienced the annual rite of post-spring roster attrition. After much consideration and conversations with my family, DeMarcus Felton wrote on his personal Twitter account, I have decided to graduate from Texas Tech University and transfer to compete in my final of eligibility at another institution. As a graduate transfer, the 5th-year senior running back would be eligible to play immediately at another FBS school in 2018, his final of eligibility. pic.twitter.com/zoovp302pb, DeMarcus Felton at Feltonium27 May 7, 2018. Felton, a 3-star 2014 signee, played in 35 games for the Red Raiders the past 3s, with 12 of those appearances coming this past. He started a pair of games during his time in Lubbock, with both of those coming in 2016. In those 3s, Felton ran for 529 yards and 4 touchdowns while catching 9 passes for another 44 yards. His best statistically came in 2016 when he ran for 354 yards, a total that was second on the team that year. Not surprisingly, there's already a brisk market for a newly minted graduate transfer. Very early Tuesday afternoon, Joe Burrow announced that, as many had expected, he had decided to transfer from Ohio State almost immediately. Schools such as LSU and Florida, among others, were attached to the graduate transfer quarterback. In the hours after the announcement was made official, C.com reported that LSU, as well as Cincinnati, had been granted permission to speak to Burrow. Another report has Arizona State, Arkansas and Wyoming as schools that have already shown some level of interest. Burrow graduated from OSU this past weekend, which would give him immediate eligibility at any FBS program. Even better for his new school, Burrow will have 2 years of eligibility at his disposal that he can use in 2018 and 2019. Burrow was a 4-star member of OSU's 2015 recruiting class who was rated as the number 8 dual-threat quarterback in the country, as J.T. Barrett's primary backup in 2016. Burrow completed 22 of his 28 pass attempts for 226 yards and a pair of touchdowns. He was the favorite to hold on to that job in 2017 as well before he was sidelined with a broken bone in his right throwing hand. With Burrow sidelined for the first month of the Dwayne Haskins took over as the number 2 quarterback behind Barrett. Haskins completed 40 of his 57 pass attempts for 565 yards and 4 touchdowns in 8 games last, including a memorable relief appearance in yet another win over rival Michigan. The performance in the game helped solidify Haskins as the favorite to replace Barrett heading into the offseason. Burrow's transfer presumably leaves Haskins as the Buckeyes starter and redshirt freshman Tate Martell, the number 2 dual-threat quarterback in the class of 2017, as the primary backup. After losing a couple of players to transfer over the past 2 weeks, Georgia is on the receiving end of one this time around. In a move that slipped under our radar over the weekend, Landon Stratton announced in a Facebook post that he will be continuing his football and academic career at Georgia. The move came just a couple of days after the punter had taken a visit to the Athens campus. As Stratton will be coming to UGA as both a graduate transfer as well as playing at FCS Murray State, he'll be eligible to play for the national champion runners-up this year. Stratton served as the race's starting punter the last 3s, averaging just over 41 yards per punt in that span. In April of this year, it was reported that Stratton had signed with fellow FCS school, Houston Baptist, after deciding to leave Murray State. According to DawgNation.com, that signing could force Stratton to join the Bulldogs as a walk-on.